All right, this is day 4 as we continue our study of circles, and we have moved on. For a while now, we've been studying the relationship between arcs and the angles that go with them, and we dealt with formulas like this that were all about angles, which are shown here as theta, and their intercepted arcs. But now we're introducing something new. Instead of dealing with angles and arcs, we are going to be dealing today with segments. So I need you to see the similarities and differences. Look how similar these pictures look. I see these intersecting lines, it's off center, and here I have these intersecting lines. It looks just like situation number 3. But again, the difference is here I'm dealing with angles and arcs, whereas in this picture I'm dealing with the lengths of these line segments. Okay, same thing with this one. It looks very similar to this picture with the angle going outside of the circle, but I'm not dealing with the angles and the arcs this time. This time I'm dealing with the segment lengths, these 4 pieces. Okay? And the bottom line is this: when the chords intersect inside the circle like this, it's going to basically be a situation where we have part times part equals part times part. In this particular case, A times B is going to equal X times Y. On the other hand, when we are outside the circle, it's going to be part times whole equals part times whole. So when I say part times whole, the part is going to be the outside part, the outer part of this secant segment. So part times whole using these variables would be A times A plus B, and then X times X plus Y. It's the part outside times the whole secant segment. All right, so hold that in your brain as we do these problems. So looking at problem number 1, to find the value of x, first we realize we are in the first situation, part times part equals part times part. So in this case, that's going to make, okay, part times part. So 23 times x is going to equal 23 times 15. I said 23 and then I just wrote 2, didn't I? Okay, yeah, 23 times x is going to equal 23 times 15. Now I could multiply these numbers together, but if I think ahead for 1 second, I realize it'll be easier if I don't, because my next move is going to be to divide both sides by 23 anyway, and these are going to cancel. And if I leave these factored out, it's easy for me just to cancel out the 23's, and I see that x is equal to 15. Alright, you would get the same answer obviously if you multiplied it together, but this is just a little easier. Now looking at number 3, same situation, part times part equals part times part. So that's going to be x times 12, all right, or 12x, is equal to part times part. So that's 6 times x plus 4. So, of course, I'm going to do the distributive property. So this is going to be 12x is equal to 6x plus 24. Okay, subtracting 6x from both sides, we're going to get 6x equals 24. Time to divide both sides by 6. And we get x equals 4. All right, that is how we do number 3. Number 5, same situation, part times part equals part times part. All right, this x plus 10 is this part up here. So part times part, I'll do this horizontal part first. Okay, so part times part is x times x plus 3. I'm going to change colors. Okay, so x times x plus 13. Okay, that's part times part. Now, for the other part, all right, which is this part, all right, again, I'm going to do part times part, but this time it's going to be x plus 1 times x plus 10. Okay, so I have part times part equals part times part. Now, on the left side, this is really simple because I'm just doing the distributive property once. Okay, like that. Over here, I'll have to be a little bit more careful than that. But so this is, on the left side, I'm just going to have x squared plus 13x equals. Now, over here, when I do this distributive property, I'm going to have to do it twice. So first, I'm going to do x times both of these. So x times x, that's x squared. And then x times 10, that's 10x. But then I'm going to have to go ahead and do the distributive property with the 1 as well. Okay, so 1 times x is just 1x, and then 1 times 10 is 10. All right, so you see I have to do the distributive property twice, and then I will combine like terms in there, right in this area right here. So I'm going to wind up with x squared plus 13x is equal to x squared plus 11x plus 10. All right, I see the x squared and the x, so my strategy is to get everything on one side of the equation. First, I will subtract the x squared from both sides and see what happens. If I do that, though, okay, as soon as I go to subtract x squared from both sides, watch what happens. Both x squareds cancel each other out. So I'm just left with 13x equals 11x plus 10. All right, since the x squares are gone, and I just have a regular old x, I really can actually just solve this like normal, subtracting 11x from both sides. Okay, so that's going to give me 2x is equal to 10. So obviously, if I divide by 2 on both sides, then I get x equals 5. All right, and that is how you do number 5. All right, if those x squares hadn't canceled out, I would have had to use the quadratic formula. So watch out for that. That's out there. There will probably be problems where we have to use the quadratic formula. Wait a second. This is not the answer. We have to pay attention to the directions. Almost fell for it. Do not make this mistake. The answer is not 5. We haven't done anything wrong. We're just not finished. The directions say find AB. In other words, find the length of segment AB. And find DE, the distance from here to here. X is neither one of those things, but it will help us find those things. Let's start with AB. If I want to go ahead and actually use the directions and find the distance from A to B, I'm going to have to do this. Okay, the length of AB is basically like this, all right? If I want to find the length of AB, that should be x plus 10 is part of it. Now x plus 10, remember we just found that x is 5. So x plus 10, that's 15. So this part of AB is 15. And then this other part over here is x plus 1. So again, x is 5. So 5 plus 1 is 6. Alright, so I've got 15 and I've got 6. That means AB is 15 plus 6, which equals 21. So that is one of my answers. That's AB. It's 21. Now we also need to find DE. Okay, DE goes the other way, so I need to change my colors. Alright, DE is the red line that's going across like this. So again, x is 5. So looking at this piece, I've got 5 plus 10. Alright, so this piece is 15. And then this little piece over here is x. Well, that's just 5. Okay, so altogether, DE is this 15 plus 5. So that's going to be 20. Okay, because DE was 15 plus 5. Now, that is how you do that. Okay, you have to use the fact that x equals 5, but you need to plug that in and find these lengths that they ask you for. So be careful about that. Pay attention to the directions. Sometimes they say find the value of x, then you just find x. But if they say find some length, please remember to plug that back in. Okay, so looking at number 7, is this the part times part situation, or is this the part times whole situation? This is the one that should be part times whole equals part times whole. Okay, so looking at this part, this segment that I'm drawing in red, what's the part and what's the whole?
3.
3 is the part. What's the whole?
3 plus x.
Yes, I like to say x plus 3, but that's the same thing. So 3 times x plus 3, part, whole. Now, what's the part and whole for this part that I'm putting in blue?
Part and whole.
What's the part? What's the whole?
2.
2
12.
and 12. Okay, so that's the setup. So this is going to be, after the little distributive property, that's going to be 3x plus 9 is equal to 24. Does that make sense? So of course we got to subtract 9 from both sides. So that's going to give us 3x equals 24 minus 9.
I got this because I'm not good with math. 15.
15.
I'm good with like equations.
And what's the last step?
Divide by 3.
Divide by 3. So of course, what do we get?
5.
X equals 5. Any questions on number 7?
Nope.
Alright, moving on to number 9. Alright, go ahead and give me the part and the whole for this red segment. Yeah, any of y'all, feel free to jump in. What's
5
the
times x plus 5
5 times x plus 5
equals
6 times 10.
equals 6 times 10. Alright, part times whole equals part times whole. 5x plus 25 equals 60. Subtract 25.
Wait.
That's going to be 35. Then what?
Divide by 5.
So x equals 7. Okay, number 11. Uh-oh, starting to look a little more ugly. Let's see, which one do we want to do first? Let's
I
go.
should do the The X, the 27.
Okay, let's see. So you're going to do the green one first. Wait.
Too complicated.
Okay, what's the part in the whole for the green segment?
27.
27 is the part. What's the...
X plus 27?
Sure, 27 and x plus 27. Okay, now what's the part in the whole for the red segment?
21.
21. Alright, this is a little tricky. Okay, it's 21 and then it's 2x plus 8 plus 21. Okay, because I mean just like we did for the green, we had to add up both of these for the whole, right? So we have to do the same thing here. 2x plus 8 plus 21. The whole is the sum of both of those. Alright, did you follow that, Jamila?
Yeah.
I have a feeling you're not paying attention.
I am. I was trying to get all those numbers back in my head. I was trying to distribute in my head. It just didn't work out.
Okay, so that's going to be 27x plus calculator mode. Where's your calculator, Jamila?
729.
Alright, so 729 equals. Now I'm going to leave this for a second. Let's see the like terms we have here, the 8 and the 21. We should go ahead and put those together.
29.
Okay, so that's 2x plus 29. And now we do want to go ahead and distribute this 21.
42.
Okay,
Wait, you said that was 29.
42x plus.
No.
29 times 21. Is it 6 or 9?
Agreed?
No. I forgot we just added that 8 and 21.
Yeah. So we have 27x plus 729 equals 42x plus 609. What am I going to do now?
Subtract 42x,
Sure, we can subtract 42x from both sides.
which is negative 15.
Okay, subtract 42x, subtract 42x. You said that that's negative what?
15.
So negative 15x plus 729 is equal to 609. Now what?
Subtract 729.
Yup. Minus 729. Okay. So that is going to give me
Something negative.
negative 15x is equal to negative something.
Negative 120.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me check that.
Alright, of course then we're going to just divide both sides by negative 15. And I hear you saying that that's what? 8. So x is equal to 8.
Yeah.
Not so fast though. Once again, 8 is not the answer. We have to pay attention to the directions. We have not done anything wrong, but the directions did not say find x. We will use x, but we are supposed to find the length of RT and TV. So for example, RT, if we now know that x is 8, see that x right there? That means this is 8. The length of RT is this length right here. Okay? That is 27 plus 8. Okay? So that's going to be 35. So that's why RT is 35. Okay? Now for TV. TV is this segment up here. I think I'll mark it in purple. Again, we now know that x is 8. So that makes this portion become 2 times 8 plus 8. You know, 2x plus 8. 2 times 8 plus 8. Well, that is 16 plus 8, which is 24. Okay, do you see that? Alright, so this is 24. So that means segment TU is 21 plus 24. Alright, we had to plug the x in and see what's happening. Okay, so that's why we're going to do this 21 plus 24, which is 45. So that's why TV here is 45. And those are the actual answers to the question, not just x equals 8. If this were a test, I would probably give you half credit for finding x equals 8. But you don't want half credit. Oh no, all that hard work you did, you want all the credit. All the credit. So if you want all the credit, you need to plug that back in, substitute for x, and find whatever lengths they are actually asking you to find. Please pay attention to the directions, my friend. Alright, now we shall move on to number 13. For these ones, we are being asked for the value of x. So we can relax, just find x and be happy with it. This is outside the circle, so we will use our part times whole equals part times whole formula. So, let's do the bottom part first. Okay, looking at this red secant segment, the part times the whole. The part is 5. It's got to always be the outer part. And the whole is x plus 5. Okay, so 5 times x plus 5. Now that's going to equal part times whole. Let me switch to green. Now look at this green tangent segment. Guess what the part is? 10, so that's the outer part. Guess what the whole thing is? 10 again. That's what happens when you have a tangent. The part and the whole are the same thing, but that's no big deal. So little distributive property here, and we're going to have 5x plus 25 is equal to 100. Subtract 25 from both sides. Okay, so that's going to give us 5x equals 75. And divide by 5 on both sides, like so. And that is going to give me x equals 15. And that is the actual answer to the question because they said find the value of x. Okay, let's move on to number 15. Alrighty then. So this is almost the same problem once again. Let's start with this part. Alright, part times whole. So part times whole, yes, I'm doing part times whole equals part times whole. So the part is the 9, and the whole is 4x plus 9. Okay, part times whole. Now, for the 15, it's the part and the whole are the same thing. Alright, so the part is 15 and the whole is 15. So it's just going to be 15 times 15. Doing the distributive property, like so, I'm going to get 36x plus 81 is equal to 225. Time to subtract 81 from both sides, which is going to give me 36x equals 144. We will divide both sides by 36. And that is 4. So we get our final answer of x equals 4. Alright, and that's the answer to number 15. Alright, last problem, number 17. Now, this time they didn't give us an x at all, but they did tell us what to find. They said go ahead and find the length of PQ. Well, that's fine. Let's just call PQ x, and then if we find x, we'll be done. So let's do our thing. Alright, once again, this is outside of the circle, So we will be doing part times whole equals part times whole. Okay, we did do some part times part. Alright. Just checking. Yeah, so part times whole equals part times whole. Let's do this part first. The part is 24. Always the outer part is the part. And the whole is x plus 24. Okay, the whole thing. Once again, for this tangent segment, the part and the whole are the same thing. So this will be 36 is the part, and 36, whoops, I didn't mean to put squared. It's already times itself. Part and the whole are both 36. So, a little distributive property, my friend, will look like this. So I'm going to get 24x plus 576 equals 1,296. 1,296. Let's go ahead and subtract 576 from both sides. That gives us 720. Alright, let's move this over here. So that gives us 24x equals 720. Alright, you can probably guess what I'm going to do now. I'm going to divide both sides by 24. Alright, so that's going to give me x equals 30. Okay, so the answer should be 30. Okay, that's it for this lesson, and hopefully now you understand how to find the segment lengths inside and outside of circles.